Welcome back to the 2023 PDGA Champions Cup, the first Pro Major of 2023. We are at the beautiful W.R. Jackson course, which is in Wildwood Park in Augusta, Georgia, where the International Disc Golf Center and Disc Golf Hall of Fame are also. I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Nathan Queen.
So many awesome things out here at this one place in Appling, Georgia. We've got to see a lot of awesome shots on that front nine from our feature card. As you see right here, Eagle McMahon, 6 under par, Simon Lizotte, 5 under, Gannon Buhr and Niklas Anttila, 1 under par.
And a couple hot scores already in the clubhouse. 9 down, a handful of 8s and 7s. There's a lot of scoring opportunities out here on the Jackson course. One of those is on hole 10, 606 feet, par 4, one of the easier holes on the day. Looking to see either forehands or backhand turnover shots, you can bite off quite a bit of distance here. The approach into the green is a little bit cluttered. You're going to have to just work your way and scramble, and a couple mounds around the green make your landings and or footing interesting. Looks like Eagle's lining up mid-range, going to play a flat or slight hyzer release to drift in front of those triple trees in the fairway and just keep cruising.
Oh yeah, he's done that nicely. Ends up drifting up to the left just a little bit, but still should be in a pretty good position there.
Niklas also following that hyzer release. Anything that breaks in front of these 3 trees is usually pretty good, and this is huge from Niklas.
So much distance, maybe even a standstill shot from there.
Forehand.
Putter.
Simon going to go forehand. And plays it low. This will get a skip and ride to the right. Even that kind of on the edge of the fairway will have a turnover, I would guess mid-range.
Yeah, the trick with that forehand is really getting it to push straight. Once you really need to push those 3 trees in the middle. If you're fading before that, it's pretty easy to end up too far right once you get that skip.
And Gannon starts a little bit more left. This is high and gliding. That does push the back wall. But usually from the edge of the rough, you have something you can lean out and advance with.
And we see Simon from the edge of that right side. Was a little bit short, but able to throw just a fantastic shot with a very overstable disc there.
Yeah, basically a roller angle out of the hand and then perfectly flat as it hits.
Man, I thought he was throwing a roller, and then it flattened out nicely. He's going to have a tap-in birdie.
Eagle slings a forehand, very overstable. That must be a splice. And gets himself to circle 2. It seems a little errant for the complexity of what he was dealing with.
Did.
Gannon plays a little jump shot.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Yo.
That's not...
I was impressed with his run on 9, almost making a putt. This one had the same speed coming in, just stalled perfectly.
And Niklas trying to give it a run as well. We've got 3 birdie looks from in the circle and Eagle with a long look here. He's already made 1 long one. This one a little more obstructed.
Honorable bid. And Niklas been leaning on that red approach putter for his forehands, serving him well over the last few holes. Gets himself to 2 under.
Gobble, gobble. And speaking of 2 under, Scott Withers able to throw 2 under on this very hole. Carding the Eagle, threw it in from 269 feet on U-disc.
All right, that's pretty big.
Moves us into hole 11, 420-foot par 3, moving to the right, but really favors a righty backhand turnover shot as far as being able to get the distance to get there. You see the FPO pin we just passed and then the MPO pin. You're going to want to push something out towards the left side of this fairway and getting it to turn right the entire way. Drift back just enough to catch some glide.
You see this flat release, understable disc. And gets right enough.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah. I think that FPO pin, among several others, is a very good change. Gives more scoring opportunities to them. And you see the thoughtfulness of how the PDGA staff and maintenance crews are working here, advancing this course to meet the demands of what the current pro fields are doing.
I absolutely pinned that FPO pin. Just saying.
Give yourself a 60-footer. Nice work. We'll see a couple later changes on the course that have been done to optimize the field for the MPO also, or optimize the course. Gannon with a nice high shot. Look how flat that is 300 feet away.
That is just an incredible shot right there. Going to end up just a little bit left side, just inside circle.
An eagle in an unfamiliar position at the back of the box. Is he going mid here?
It looked like a mid, which is why he was able to be that inside, I suppose. And that's silly. He's past the basket with mid.
Simon, high, spinny, and he knew it before everybody else that was going to come up short and left. Gannon has struggled a little bit on the green, but not this time, in the heart.
Yeah, got back-to-back birdies now, putting him 3 down on the round, still clean. That one birdie early on, and now starting to get a few, catch up with the card a bit.
In this 4-round tournament. Nicely done by Eagle. You definitely want to get off to a hot start, but it's important not to get too high or too low about your own performance. You kind of just need to put yourself in position to be in position on the final day.
Absolutely. Like you said, 4-round tournament, so 1 extra round than you're used to. And some big swings can happen as long as you're in contention or have played to, close to what your abilities are and kept yourself in there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're going to have an opportunity. As you see here from Niklas, he was 1 over until hole 8 on the round. Now he's got 4 birdies in a row, 3 under par.
Hole 12, our only par 5. This right side off the tee is going to be the most used. You're looking to get about 400 feet or so, and that leaves the option to go either left or right on the second shot. This hole can be eagled, but it's going to take 2 very, very controlled shots around 470 feet or so each. Looking to see fairway drivers if you're being a little conservative, but the distance driver may also be in play because even though this is a woods course, a lot of the fairways are more than 25 feet wide at their narrowest.
Yeah, you definitely get a lot of fairways where you have an opportunity to throw those flippy drivers. And Niklas with a nice tree kick there, keeping him in the fairway.
Gannon with the hyzer release. This is just holding and pushing around the island of trees.
So good.
Into a great spot.
Yeah, he's in a spot that he should be going down that right side now. Kind of takes you out of eagle play. I mean, I know he's got tons of power, so I'm not saying it's impossible. But that right side is more the birdie side. If you're able to push far enough to go straight at it down the left, that's when you're looking at eagle.
Eagle with the late flip, pushes to the right, and I think he's going to be forced to take the left side alley, which is narrower and more direct. And Simon unleashes on it. This is going to fade to the left. Does cut through all the way to the opposite side of the fairway.
Yeah, so he's got options from there. He can maybe try to go aggressive forehand to land in the middle of that left fairway, or he could kind of pitch out farther out to the right and get in the right side fairway like Niklas is going for right here.
This is gorgeous. Tests the back wall and plenty of distance. He'll be around 170 feet or so, likely with a lean out forehand.
Eagle been throwing with a lot of steep hyzer, understable discs.
And I lost that. That's the hazard of throwing red discs, folks. If you want people to see it, you got to throw pink. Bright pink. Gannon's going to take the right side, and this is hugging the inside a little bit, but still in fine spot. That right side,
Wow.
so much wider.
Yeah, and that pushed pretty far. That got around that group of trees in the middle, and he might be in there for one of those long Gannon putts, 80, 90 feet.
Simon going to be a little bit creative here. Plays a turnover and flattens nicely and works its way back to the center.
Oh, yeah. Easy up and down from there.
And it's straight up insulting to the rest of the groups when Eagle is the furthest away for his third.
Well, this did play as the easiest hole on the course today.
As many par fives on Tour do, and that's kind of why holes 14 and 18 ended up being changed at the Jackson course. Simon, the Anheuser floater.
Giving it a bid.
Wow. Correct in 2 axes, just not quite long enough.
All right, we got one more chance for the Eagle here. Gannon gave it a champion's bid, but just off of the top. There was one Eagle today. I was lucky enough to see it in person. Cole Riddallen, I don't know, 500-foot plus drive and mid-range shot down the left side, inside 20 feet.
Sure.
I want to thank my sponsors, Prodigy, Titan Disc Golf. Huge shout out to my caddy, Matt Schleybuck. A lot of people know him now. He caddied for me first 2 rounds, and up until hole 16, he had to catch a flight. And a shout out to Gavin for taking the bag the last 3 holes.
We are hole 13, 399-foot par 4. Feels to me like it plays a little bit shorter, does go a little bit downhill, but then you're back up on some mounds for the green. Another one of those shots you could go forehand or backhand turnover. Forehand is going to play a little bit better. You're going to want to push it towards the left side of the corner and then fade sharply, kind of like Niklas is doing right here.
That's very well done.
There you go.
Just, if you want a whole preview, just fast forward to what Niklas did. And Gannon going to play a little bit more of a hyzer with a slightly understable disc.
And that's what can, when you go a bit more hyzer on this one without pushing out to the left, it really brings those trees on the right into play that you can't see off of the tee. What he hit is around that corner.
As noted, Eagle kind of limiting the use of his forehand. So this is about as far or hard as he's wanting to throw it at this time. But even with that perceived limitation, he gets all the distance, just not quite the skip to the right.
Yeah, it didn't even really look like he did anything right there, and it was going to travel 400 feet.
And Simon with another forehand. His footing seemed a little weird there, but no harm, no foul. Up near circle's edge for a putt.
Yeah, nice little rollout to a clean putt also.
That is so critical on this green because it is elevated. There's some cluttery trees around it. Getting yourself a clean look can kind of save a quarter stroke at a time. Gannon, a little bit of a speculative bid, works its way to the back of the circle, and eagle. Maybe a half poke at it, deliberately nose up to kill the speed.
Yeah, not quite as much speed as we saw the one him make on hole 8, because there is more danger behind as Simon Lizotte is able to connect for his birdie. Back to back now moves him to 8 down.
Gannon, good putt to the middle. And this would be Niklas to get to 5. He's worked his way back from kind of being...
That's a 6-pack.
Yeah, he was 1 over par at one point. You see Simon and Eagle now tied at 8 down for the lead. As we go into hole 14, now a par 4. It's a gap shot off the tee, something that can go straight for maybe 300 feet and then bail to the left. Leads to a forehand or turnover shot into a flat green. This was a par 5. Now the landing zone is more or less where incredible shots off of the previous tee would get.
Yeah, the gap is much tighter. I'd say this is probably the second, possibly third tightest gap on the course. And Niklas able to hit the gap well. Catches one of those late trees, but kicks off to the good side.
Simon taps early, but does stay in the middle. That's
What a
pretty
kick.
big. And Gannon also going left. He told me that he didn't feel like he had his legs under him, just like not quite recovered from the previous weekend's effort as well as practice rounds here. So maybe fatigue catching up with his young body.
He's not tired.
Eagle with a gorgeous shot, puts himself in the left side of the fairway. And Buhr looks like another shank that he's not going to pay that much for. Gets quite a bit of distance. That's going to leave about 350 feet, probably with a big forehand.
Yeah, not making it through the gap off of this tee shot. I mean, minus some miracles, almost takes par out of play. Simon going to get himself in a pretty good position to try to get it. But this second shot is really not a given. You've got to choose if you want to go inside or outside.
Yep.
Of these trees we'll see here in a minute. The inside is a better line to the pin, but much tighter.
And can potentially lead to some terrible kicks. Love the control of this to get the late flip and the scooch to the back of the bullseye.
That is so good. The angle. It's much tighter than it looked on camera right there. It's a fantastic shot from Niklas, and Gannon kind of army golfing his way down this one.
Yeah, he straightened that out too much. Still a young forest between him and the bucket.
That's so good too.
Eagle with a little chip forehand. You really see the difference in where this tee shot lands.
Yeah, Eagle being as far left as he was made that forehand a lot more open.
Simon playing kind of an inside line.
And that's more what you see a good amount of.
Yeah.
Is some funny angles and catching those 3 trees.
Gannon, a jump putt from 100-something feet to the bullseye. It's a bogey, but it's a good bogey save.
Yeah, third hardest hole on the course today. So brand new hole, playing over par.
And Simon, a little errant on his fifth. No, fourth. Now putting for 5. And that's going to stall his progress considerably. Our co-leader definitely going to give up at least a couple strokes to McMahon.
And go ahead and make that 3 strokes as Eagle able to card the birdie. One of just 21 players. Niklas going to be another of those 21 players, and he now has 7 birdies in a row.
Yeah, going streaking. And Simon with the long walk across the circle. You know this is frustrating for him because par was potentially in his vision.
Moves us into hole 15, another par 4, 715 feet. This ditch right here is kind of the thing that you need to get past off of the tee. You're going to want to throw a turnover fairway that's going to fade back a little bit. Unless you get close to 400 feet off of this shot, you're going to have a blind second shot. And it's kind of poke your way down there. This is one of the less deliberate fairways that you have for this second shot.
Yeah, just kind of a series of awkwardly spaced trees leading into the bucket, and many of those funnel you to short right. Well thrown by Niklas, lands himself on the right side of the fairway, but well clear of the ditch. You see both of them playing a flat release and then a drift that isn't actively turning. It's kind of just moving to the right.
And that had so much speed on it. He's carrying up to the top of that hill. He's a little bit on the right side, but a good amount of distance.
Gannon, we know he loves that Anheuser release. That's more of his comfort zone. Hits the gap, clean, in the fairway.
That's that spot where you can probably see the pin from. I think he might have made it.
Simon looking to bounce back, also going distance driver. And this is pulled a little bit. Yeah. Taps down to the left.
Oh, and 2 holes back to back. He's going to be scrambling from early off of the tee.
Still playing that right side. This is well thrown, flipping up late. And
even with that kick, that is an incredible scramble shot to get as far as he did from where he was
yeah,
at.
no doubt. From back there, you're thinking any par is good. And now he's turned that into I have to par. Niklas with the high flat forehand. And
Are we?
yeah.
He's 8. That's 8 of them.
That's 8. You can mark that one down on the card right now. It's bad practice to do that, but you can if you want. Eagle. Looked like, I think it was a forehand roller, but not really getting to the ground cleanly.
And Gannon with just a standstill flex shot, and so much touch on that to be able to get it to stop. This is a steep downhill grade right here.
Yeah, I think he made the right mistake to deliberately throw it a little bit long, though, because there is a creek back there that stops you around 25 or 30 feet. It's a lot better to be back there putting up than getting stopped early and short.
Definitely so. You can see that creek down on the right now.
Simon and Eagle, both with pretty good scrambles. And Eagle for his par. Nicely done.
thank you everyone for watching this video. If you want to support me on tour, Discmania store is way to go. There might be some Nordic Phenoms left, so pick yours while they last. And yeah, thank you all.
On the surface, Ledgestone is one of disc golf's leading retailers, but look a little closer and you'll find a group of motivated individuals providing the best possible service to the disc golf community. So whether you're building a bag, wanting to support your favorite pro, or looking to add to your disc golf wardrobe, choose Ledgestone.
Hole 16, our last par 3 on the day. There is OB Creek to the right, and you're going to throw a gently moving left to right shot. Basket kind of perched on a mound with downslope to the right as well. I expect to see putters or mid-ranges, but all thrown backhand. Kind of aim at that cluster of pines and let it drift.
Great shot, dude.
Gorgeous by Niklas. Buhr going to play a little bit more of a force over if this angle he's setting is correct.
Again, really using that overstability of his discs to do a lot of the work for him. Uses a lot of those steep angles. He's going to be up there inside the circle. And this is another one of those holes where, although it does move to the right, it seems to play better for the righty backhand rather than forehand. That righty backhand's able to fade and finish softly rather than spiking into this downhill, where if you throw a forehand or a lefty backhand, you can get a skip towards that OB.
Yeah, completely agree. Eagle saw something he liked in Buhr's throw and does get it to flatten out for a park job. And Simon, this is just push too straight.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
And the slow, insolent trickle to out of bounds. A very sarcastic fist pump.
And a very quick neck shot after that. Gonna get him up and down for an unfortunate bogey, as this is one of the easier holes on the course, even with the OB.
Yeah, Nathan, I think there's something good to learn there from Simon. He's frustrated. He's not putting together the close to the round that he wants, but he's still a good sport. Like, he's not bringing down the rest of his card.
And that is a great mood to have if you can handle your own frustrations within yourself and make sure you don't project that on the rest of your card. Your card mates are going to appreciate you for that.
Mm-hmm. Good bogey save for Simon. We saw Buhr knock in his birdie to move to 5 down, kind of salvaging what seemed like a really slow start.
Yeah, and what seemed like an even slower start here from Niklas. He's looking for his 9th in a row right here. When I say looking, I mean he's pretty much at it.
Yep, easy little pitch.
And he's gone from +1 to 8 down in a tie for 4th place. Moving into our final 2 holes, the hardest 2 holes on the course today. Hole 17, second hardest, 588-foot par 4. The very intimidating gap to hit, probably the tightest that you have to hit off of the tee at a certain point in the fairway. If you can get up at least halfway up that hill, you're going to have a good opportunity to get your blind upshot up to the basket. But the farther left on you stay on the fairway, once you do get halfway up that hill, the better spot you're going to be in.
Niklas makes the initial 2 gaps, but then drifts to the right. He's going to kind of be in some matchsticks. Probably not a birdie position, but possible par. There also is a right side gap that plays up an old fairway for a previous hole 16. Gannon going to try that.
There's some OB that they've added over this way also. I guess maybe to prevent some people from trying this gap. It's not the intended fairway. And Gannon did find that OB over there.
Eagle can't hit the second gap and boosts down to the left. And the struggle is continuing for Lizotte.
After Niklas's drive there, not much luck with hitting the gap. We're going to see lots of scrambling here.
And Eagle playing that flippy hyzer release again. Gonna follow that right side old fairway and can't believe that it gets tapped down late.
Lots of trees to tap it down out there.
Yeah, I tell you what. And Simon
Also,
smashing a gap gets...
oh my goodness.
Oh my, up to the top of the hill. This is nearly circle 2.
He's going to have a birdie look. Simon might birdie.
Yeah, that's a lemonade shot. There was nothing there.
So what you see right here is why you see these players trying to get over to this right side. Pretty open if you can get over there. Gannon went OB. This is his third shot, and he got up and down to save par.
That is an absolutely incredible scramble shot.
So good.
And Eagle going to have to play a turnover mid-range. Low ceiling grabs him. And that's going to kind of sputter out near circle 2 as well. So Eagle very likely to take a stroke over par, drop him back under 10.
I'm going a bit backwards here, but I feel like I left him out. Back on hole 15, Thomas Gilbert able to throw in for the Eagle, 288 feet.
I tell you what, there's something in the water out here in Georgia. People throwing in from all over the place.
Yeah, there were 4 Eagles out here today trying to get that golden bushnell.
I guess. A good layup by Niklas, and Eagle wanting nothing to do with this run. Going to drop it in. Simon does want something to do with it.
Trying to get that birdie, and a good tree hit there to stop him, keep him inside the circle for a par. Simon going to tap in, I believe, his first bogey of the round, move him back to 9 under par.
And Simon had to reset there. There was a little bit of movement in the crowd, unable to compensate for the distraction, and gonna take a bogey.
What a par save from Gannon after going OB off of the tee.
Wow, just a lot of wild swings on this hole from our feature card, Nathan.
Yeah, I think the most wild might be that Niklas got a par.
Yeah, that's unprecedented at this time. Hole 18, now a par 4. There's 2 options off the tee, either a straight pushing shot or a right side hyzer. You work your way up to the top of the hill, and then out in this newly green grass, there is a peninsula with out of bounds surrounding it with the basket. And a bunch of bleachers, bunch of fans. I expect to see those full come Sunday.
Yeah, pretty good crowd out here today. For a Thursday, we've seen a few shots of a pretty full gallery back behind this feature card.
Mm-hmm.
Niklas gets over a little bit too much to the right side there, but still may have an opportunity to get up to the green. Might have to get a little tricky.
Gannon leaves us a little bit left, and that's going to drop down into the out-of-bounds creek. He will have to advance to the drop zone short tee.
Yeah, you've got to make it across that creek off of the tee to be inbounds. Anything short of it is out.
And Eagle does do that, but drops down in the fairway. The difficulty with that straight shot is it has to be moving straight for so far before it starts moving to the right. Simon beginning to fade out, but does tap down to the middle. Gannon again playing quickly. You kind of see the frustration setting in. And Eagle, I think this is the same disc. Overstable fairway driver. Wants to get to the top of the hill. But just the uphill nose angle, not able to get it to flat.
Yeah, very uphill right here. And anytime you have that uphill run up, it can drastically change your release point. Your foot's down a little bit quicker, and it really makes you want to early release.
Simon pushing up towards that out of bounds left side, but does stay safe. Really well done. Gives him an opportunity to putt for birdie once more. And Eagle taking his medicine, going to lay up to the mouth. Likely to have to pitch up for bogey again.
And Niklas with just enough room there to have a full swing, puts it up there inside circle 2. Gonna give himself a chance for another birdie, trying to keep it with just one par here on the back 9.
Yeah, ride that momentum. Buhr's 4th, playing this flex forehand. Okay.
That should do. And this is Eagle's 4th also.
Good speed control, just outside the bullseye.
And why not?
Fuego.
Niklas Anttila with the one final birdie putt here on hole 18. 8 down on the back 9 to shoot 9 under par.
Tell you what, that's not where I thought this was headed, but boy, am I excited to see it.
Oh, man, I'd like to see a good front 9 from him with this back 9. You'd see
Right?
course record all day.
And that is going to put Niklas on the round 2 lead card. So we're sorry to see him go, but enjoyed it while it was here. Simon racks up a birdie. One final highlight puts him at 5 under. Buhr also going to tap in a bogey, and Eagle, I expect he will do the same here. And Nathan, this is about as good a field as we're going to see all year.
Oh, absolutely. You have the qualifiers. I believe it was in the 30s or so that qualified through winning events. And then the tiered registration, making sure, I believe everybody here is over 1,000 rated.
Just about. There's a couple who had dropped under and a couple of amateur champions who earned their spots. Niklas, 9 under. Eagle, we're going to see him again tomorrow on the Gatekeeper round 2 chase card. Simon and Gannon at 5 and 4. They haven't played themselves out of this tournament yet, though. Pretty tightly contested pack, and anybody capable of making a move here.
Yeah, you see a lot of 8 downs there, a couple 9s, a 10, and 11, which is all easy to come back up on. As we've seen in previous events this year, chase card right there close by always has a chance. Thank you guys for tuning in to this feature card coverage of the first round of the first Major of the Year Champions Cup. For Andrew Fish, I'm Nathan Queen, and we will see you guys out there.